Welcome to Feelings Not Included. It's a podcast where we keep it 100% real about 100% real shit. Got the homie back with us, and I'm gonna keep it real. I'm a Kevin Samuels guy now, right? Shit. So I listen, bro. I used to be against him. I'm gonna keep
I
it all
remember.
the way real, right? I couldn't understand. I'm like, this motherfucker's talking shit that don't make sense to me. Now,
Mhm.
everybody know my story, right? Married out the game, been out the game since ooh, Clinton was president. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
Um,
Sorry.
but you and several other my guys have always been like, just check it out, right? And I'm like, fuck him. I listened to 3 minutes. I'm like, it ain't really like that, right? These chicks is calling in. It's a rare breed calling in. You know what I'm saying? And as I started digging into the shit, I'm like, okay, I'm seeing some changes. And then last night it was a wrap. I text all my homies this morning, man, or Facebook. I'm like, bro, I'm done. I told one of my guys, you win, bro. I ain't never debating you again. I said, matter of
Go.
fact, if you start a debate about this shit, I'm gonna hang up on you because you won. It's over.
It's a wrap. And the thing is, it is so funny because you've always, we've been social media connected for probably about 2-3 years now, and you did not strike me as a dummy. You seem like a very logical thinker. And I remember when you first started looking at relationships, because you've been out the game. So what the fuck
Man,
reason would you have to look at relationships?
right.
And once you first start looking at relationships, you would say shit, and I'm like, you're a rookie. Like you just don't know. You just haven't had these conversations that we have been living for 10, 15, 20, 25 years because we've been single. And it's like once you actually start having these conversations with these people and start having an understanding of how they think, you will understand why Kevin Samuel said the shit that he said, why he said the shit that he said,
Man,
when he said the shit that he said. And it's like, it was only a matter of time. I remember thinking, just give it time. And I
that's what my
started to
guys
see your
say.
post. I started to see your post slowly start to change. And then last night when you was going in on motherfuckers, I said,
Man,
he finally
so I'm,
jumped
I'm
the
I'm
gun.
here now,
He
right? So
finally got
I shared a post from a black woman. And all it really said is men don't fetishize hood rats like women fetishize hood dudes.
bingo.
And they lost their fucking mind.
Lost
Right?
the
The
goddamn.
one chick was like, oh, it's always brothers married to somebody. Hold on. I didn't make the fucking post, but I'm the right one. Because this is the shit I live for.
Mhm.
I told her, I said, y'all picked the wrong one to try them bullshit tactics.
Yep.
You can't shame me in the shit, bro. I
Mm-mm.
grew up with nothing. I know how the
Mhm.
fucking game go. Right? So you
Mhm.
can't shame me. So I'm listening to the stories and I'm low key mad because I got a homie that we've been cool for years, and she, it's you saying she ain't married because she right? Because the one chick, hold on, let me take a step back. The one chick says she said some slick shit. So we Facebook friends. So
Mhm.
before I respond, I'm gonna go to your profile. I'm not nosy, motherfucker. You added me, right?
Yep.
So I go to her profile. Her profile say in a relationship. Where I'm from, that's not married,
Yep.
right? So I say, oh, you ain't married. Oh, and then the homie, she like, oh, you said that only because she black. I said, no, I said that shit because the bitch shit say in a relationship. And I go through 15 of her fucking Facebook photos, her
You don't
profile
see
picture.
no dude, but you see
There was no
children.
dude.
But you
Right? I
saw
see the
children.
kids in the motherfucking cover photo. I
Mm-hmm.
see 15 shots of her, no wedding dress, no ring. I'm a nosy motherfucker, bro. So and I like data. So I went looking for data. I didn't see no data on the marriage. So I say, you ain't married. She dropped a couple pictures. She dropped a wedding picture, a picture of her in a dress. I'm like, I can go try a dress on. I'm a fucking man, but I could go in a dress store, right? And take a picture in the motherfucking dress. Dennis Rodman did that shit.
Yeah, Young Thug been doing that shit for a while
Right.
too. Like,
Lil
yes.
Uzi Vert, all the motherfuckers. So
Mm-hmm.
and then she dropped a picture with the dude. I'm like, oh, you're married to a white dude. No, I ain't got no beef with that. You know what I mean? She might be my white cousin. I don't fucking know. Right? But I'm like, oh, you ashamed of him because he's nowhere. And of course, they teaming up. Well, what you just assumed because she was black, she wasn't married. I said, no, I assumed because her fucking Facebook profile said she wasn't married, that she wasn't married because I'm a husband. My wife shit can't say she's single.
Everybody
It can't say
knows
she
that
in a
that's.
complicated relationship.
Listen,
None
I
of
could
that shit.
pick. I ain't never make you or your wife, but I could pick both of y'all out in public because I didn't seen like when you
Man,
marry, you show it.
swear to
You
fucking God,
show
bro.
it. Listen to me. The
Hey,
day I tied nuptials with my I ain't gonna say soon to be. Well, the day I tied nuptials, everybody gonna know. It's just
why
gonna
the
be
fuck not?
why the fuck not? But
Right.
you on social, and that's why I was laughing at the goddamn comments because you on social media bragging about you having somebody and how you never be a baby mama, but there's no
You look
evidence of
you
of
look
the
like
person.
a fucking baby mama.
You look like a fucking baby or a
Really
side chick or some shit. You know what
right.
I'm saying?
So
So
so the
just
one look, the one chick, get mad at me, say some slick shit. Like I'm at a point I don't need a man. I said, well, listen, right? Because well, you ain't from the streets. No, listen, I'm from the streets. Why am I still there? Why the
Mm,
fuck? This is what's wrong, bro. It's bitches in the hood. I grew up within the hood. That's still in the hood. Like you forgot where you came from. You forgot to leave, motherfucker. Like let's keep it real. You forgot to fucking leave the hood. I don't forget where I came from, but I don't want to fucking be back.
nope.
You know what? I wake. You know what woke me up this morning? I forgot to take my fucking trash out at 6 in the morning. I hit the trash truck. You know what used to wake me
Mm,
up? Fucking gunshots. I'm
yep.
cool on that shit, bro.
Yep.
And the same homie text me talking about, oh, they shooting outside. I could, yeah, motherfucker, that's where they shoot at. The shooting range in the hood. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no motherfucker supposed to strive to be in the hood. That's not cool. So anyway, another chick say some slick shit, and she 40. She got a couple baby daddies, and she's like, oh, it ain't only hood motherfuckers that beat up people. No, I said, but y'all out here looking for a blue face, or you end up with a black and blue face, right? And then of course she run down her little shit. And she must not know my ears is in the street. So I tell her, hey, street say you got a baby in you. How you don't need a man? You 40 with a baby in you and you ain't got no ring. Shit, you need a man, right? And then she immediately jumped in my inbox. I had a phone to my wife. I'm not finna argue with no bitch off on the end, but
Mm-hmm.
you ain't finna be inboxing me. I'm not finna do that. I told my wife, here's the phone, conversate with her, and then at the end of the message, tell her to message you for the rest of the shit, because I don't want to hear. Right? And another chick jump on and she tried to hit me with the sob story. Well, I had a fiance, but we had kids, but I realized he wasn't for me. Okay,
After the motherfucking children.
right. Congratulations
Get the
on understanding before you made a big mistake. But my ears is in the street. It wasn't just that y'all wasn't together. He kept cheating on her and he was like Blueface. Right? And you should never, ever, ever put your hands on a woman outside of self-defense. I'm not justifying anything. But
Yep.
don't pretend you didn't pick and stay with this motherfucker through multiple kids to get into this point. Right? And I'm heated because motherfuckers who I know are like, oh, you saying this because she's a black woman. Now, bro, I've been for a man with a white wife, I've been arguing on behalf of black women. I've been cussing your ass out. I've been cussing my homies out. And then the very fucking moment,
You say one motherfucking thing
I
that
said, ain't
holds
this
that
a bitch?
though you say one thing that's not even disrespectful. You're
Bro,
just stating a fucking observation and that
I'm
they don't like that makes them feel a certain way because hit dogs holler and
that's
they
it.
get to hollering and rooting and
So,
just jumping all over you. And that's the type of shit where it's like, why can't y'all take any type of critique or criticism and not try to put it on hatred and
bro, I
disrespect
I
and
was listening to Kevin. He said when they don't got nothing else to do, they do four things: shame, 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 and shame.
shame,
Right?
insult, guilt need to be
You know
right.
what I'm
Sign
saying?
language.
So I'm looking at the shit, and I tell her one chick, I said, hold on, this is a I shared a black woman's post, and you making it about a white woman? How the fuck? I said it said hood rats. It didn't say black hood rats. It didn't say white hood rats. Well, I know you talking about black women. I ain't talking about no fucking body. My status said that I felt like this needed to be shared, and goddamn was I right. You
You're
know what I'm
right.
saying? So
And it's like
it
for
don't
the
make no
women
fucking
that
sense.
ain't hood rats, for the women that don't feel like they identify with that post, they never fucking commented.
I was just about to say it was nobody on my post but hood rats, right? So one chick, we went to school together, right? She's my age. She's like, "Oh, you must have lived a sheltered life because you don't understand. Just because you ain't in the streets, don't mean you don't do a little illegal activity." I'm like, "You fucking 40 something. If you are 40 something years old and the man you dating is doing illegal activities, his ass better be a politician, not a drug dealer, right? He better be doing some white collar shit."
You would think that you get promoted after all these years in crime. Like, what the fuck?
I'm like,
I
bro,
just the thing about watching your Facebook that really tickles me the most is your Facebook friends are your age. These are
absolutely.
motherfuckers that I would expect to be 19, 20, 21. These motherfuckers was born in the 70s still talking that
76,
stupid
77, 75, 78.
shit.
Same shit, bro. Same shit. And it's motherfucking crazy. Right? It's oh, you froze up on me, homie. I don't know if your camera tripping,
Okay.
you had froze up for a second, but you anyway, but it's crazy because I'm like, I, I went to school with you motherfucker. Right? So the one chick on there, and she's cool, right? But she's my age. You got a lot of fucking kids, 4 or 5 kids, by 3 or 4 motherfuckers. You're not the prize. I kept it all the way real. Nobody is out here. checking for a 45-year-old chick with a bunch of kids? Nobody, right? And I'm not saying this. Listen, I don't make the fucking rules. I live by them, right? It's not my fault they ain't out here checking for you. Shit, if it was up to me, I'd plug everybody together. I don't give a shit. But it's
Can
hard to
you
explain.
can you imagine a bunch of a bunch of broke Danny DeVito looking motherfuckers going around trying to make people feel bad because they don't want a short balding white dude that smells bad? Probably.
Man,
Like, this is fucking insane.
so peep game. So I'm talking to one of them because she took it offline and went in took it off the Facebook and went into my Snap. And she's like, I can't believe this is how you feel. I said, listen, the truth is the truth. I don't gotta like it. I said, I'm short, I'm fat, and I'm bald. That's the shit. That's okay. Right? I'm not upset about it. So if you make a post about a short, bald, fat motherfucker, I ain't gonna lose my mind, like, oh my God, I didn't fucking know. So we going back and forth, and I asked her about one of my homies. I'm like, you know one of my homies, right? He's this, he's got his shit together. Yeah, he's more of a beta. We like alphas. I said, who the fuck? Why would an alpha choose you?
Stupid.
Right, let's just be real. I said, I'm in a neighborhood, and you haven't been to my house. I'm it's a predominantly white neighborhood. It's a nice neighborhood, and it's not because it's predominantly white that it's nice, but I'm laying out the structure,
Mm-hmm.
right? Everybody, 250 and up for the houses. Nice area, decent area. In Indiana, that's just fucking nice, right? You don't have to spend a lot to get a lot. But I was telling her, I said, listen, I'm probably the only fucking alpha in my neighborhood. I said, do you understand? Because she was like, well, no other race of men down there women. I said, no other race of women are telling me they don't want a man that can provide and protect and all, that can be a decent dad and a decent husband. I said, I'm the only alpha out here, and there's 98% married couples, and all these women that all these wives really wanted, these white and Asian and Indian and African wives, is a man that will be a good husband, a good father, a good protector, and a good provider, not the motherfucker who can beat everybody else up in the neighborhood.
Stupid.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Just
the concept is wrong. And bro, I've had my last, oh, you were only doing that because she's black. No, I'm doing that because she fucked up. That's where I'm at. I'm telling every motherfucker the truth from this day forward. You fucked up.
you out your goddamn mind.
Listen,
And
life happens. We all make mistakes.
look,
And they ain't
man.
consistently fucking making mistakes. I'm sitting here and I looked at some comments I didn't even reply to because I didn't see them last night. And I saw them there. I'm like, if I start today, I'm gonna light motherfuckers up. Yesterday was my nice day. I don't got no more nice in me. Right? I have no more nice in me.
And I'm glad you finally got to that point, because after the age of 40, you really have to pull the kid gloves off. And who were the people that was calling into Kevin Samuel's show?
Man,
I'm 49, I'm 46, 5'2", 5 kids by 3 dudes in jail. I'm 350 pounds, and I want a man that makes 6 figures. Shut the fuck
bro,
up.
that
You need to find
motherfucking,
somebody that's gonna want to deal with your musty ass. At
swear
a
to God,
certain point, you have to take the kid gloves off with these old ass, delusional
swear to
ass
God.
people, and that's where you at with it. Because you shouldn't have patience with these senior citizens.
And it's
You are
so
closer
crazy,
to
bro.
death than you are to birth. What the
Right.
fuck are you?
So I'm having this conversation with one particular chick. She says, "Oh, I'm just done fucking. I'm done fucking with black dudes. I'm done fucking with men. I ain't fucking
Thank
nobody
you.
else." And I'm thinking to myself, "You're not fucking anybody else when you've been
Nope.
fucking people who had there was no reason behind you laying with these dudes in the first fucking place,
Yep.
right? You're laying with men who want nothing from you. I'm listening, and I love her to death, and she can get mad at me, and I'm gonna shit in the same bathroom I shit in yesterday. I don't give a fuck. She fucks with a bum dude. She calls me. We talk. She's like, oh, this motherfucker. He asked me what I'm cooking. This is like a holiday or something. It might have been Memorial Day. He ain't offered to bring shit. You know what I'm saying? Then he stood her up. Nigga didn't even show up. Right?
Oh,
She bought food. He didn't bring no food. He didn't show up.
is this our friend in common? I think I know this story.
Yeah, it's our fucking friend in comments. You probably
Okay.
know the story, and I love her to death. But bro, the way she said the shit, the way I looked at the shit, and the way she kept saying, "You only doing that because she black." I'm like, motherfucker, I knew you my whole motherfucking life, and this is what we doing right now. And then a couple weeks ago, she said something to me, and it bothered me a little bit. It didn't bother me. She said, "Well, do you think what you're saying is contradictory because you married a woman, a white woman had money this and now that?" I said, "Well, here's the part nobody knows about my wife because I don't put it out there. My wife grew up in the same neighborhood we did. She was around the corner, same zip code. Her
Mm,
mom and her parents kind of got their money later in life, and they
mm.
moved, right? So she grew up. She was the only white person on her street, right? She just was raised by decent parents who taught her decent shit.
So
right? But I'm like, so that's what you going with because you didn't know? Oh, I didn't know. I know you didn't know because there's no reason for me to tell you that.
goofy as hell. And the thing about it is what critics will try to do is they'll try to find any reason to discredit what you're saying if they don't like the way that it makes them feel. Right?
Absolutely.
Oh, you're saying this because you have a white wife. Oh, you're
Right.
saying this because you're married. You're saying this because you have a pointed nose. You're saying this because you're white. You're saying they'll try to find anything instead of listening to what the fuck you're saying.
I
Right?
mean,
And that's the problem when you ain't shit and you ain't shit and with the message that is being sent to you is accurate. It's fucking spot
bro,
on and you don't want to face it.
I
Listen.
have went to multiple marriages or multiple weddings this year.
Mhm.
I'm talking to, and I'm not talking 19, 20-year-old, 22, 23, 45, 50. People get together,
Yep.
right? If you consistently can't find somebody to fuck with you, it might be you.
Dumbass.
It might be you, right? Like I'm not saying settle for whoever, but everybody else is wrong. Everybody you ever fucking dated weren't worthy of you going to that next level. Like, come on, man. I mean, I might have a broke picker, right? You know what I'm saying? My picker might be broke, or I might be the fucking broke part. But it's crazy because I pay close attention to every woman I had a lot of wives on my Facebook, I got a lot of fiancés on my Facebook. They was nowhere to be found in that conversation.
None, because it didn't fucking apply to them.
And even the chicks who are on my Facebook who have a couple baby daddies and that they accept and acknowledge the decisions that put them in that place. And it's not a bad thing, right? People make decisions, we make mistakes. It could be shit happens, right? But the motherfuckers the people that argue were arguing, oh, you disrespect, you don't know nothing about the hood. I'm like, motherfucker, you don't get no more hood than me. I just excelled at the shit and got out of it. Right? I didn't want to live the hood life. Right? I did the street shit so my kids wouldn't have to see it. My drive and my reason and my purpose for getting out was so my kids didn't have to go through that shit. But it was crazy. It's just because I'm like, do you really hear what the fuck y'all saying? So I said, okay, listen, everybody's arguing with me about saying men don't prefer hood rats. If you believe they do, are you raising your child to be a fucking hood rat or a hood dude? And everybody, hell no. So what are we arguing about? We ain't arguing about what was said. We arguing about how you feel. Get your little
Dumbass.
bitch ass emotions out of here.
People
You
are
don't talk about your emotions. I went from being these whole savior because I was talking shit about men for a very long time to being a 14-day period. They fucking hate me. You know what I'm saying? They fucking hate me. And it's okay. Because you know who loved me? My fucking wife. The one I care about. I don't, if me telling the truth makes me a bad guy, then so be it. So, I'm not a hip hop dude. I like old school rap.
Mhm.
This new shit, my pussy pink, my booty hole brown, that shit is horrible to me. Right? So I'm talking to the chick about this. And I'm like, listen, this shit makes black women look fucking horrible to the world. And you're idolizing it. Help me understand why. She said, well, and this is her exact fucking words. Everybody hates them, so we love them because everybody hates black women, and we know what it feels like to be hated by everybody, so we support them. And I said, first off, that's bullshit. Nope, it's not a everybody hates black women. I love black women, right? I love all fucking women. I love everybody. But I said, here's something you don't do. You don't support someone because everybody hates them. You support
Yep.
them because you believe what they're doing is right. I said, do you understand the impact and the detriment that kind of shit has on the younger generation of women? Oh, well, we don't, it's not about the younger generation. It's about us supporting them. I said, but you don't get it. The younger generation see y'all supporting that shit and idolizing that shit. Like, okay, this is maybe we supposed to be. Like, are y'all dumbing down y'all competition? Is that what it is? Because that's what it looks like from the outside. You are
Oh,
dumbing down and making your competition, because let's be real, if you're single, your competition is every other person that's single, right? And so she just went on and on about how I don't understand because I'm not a black woman. I'm not, bro. But I'm a black man and we get shot and we kill each other and we do all this other crazy shit, right? We still gotta do what we gotta do to get a fucking woman. Shit's fucked up for everybody. That's being black in America, bro. It's harder. I knew that shit. My dad taught me that shit as a very young man. Hey, listen, it's gonna be way harder for you as a black man. That's not an excuse not to get it done. That's an excuse to work harder. Okay, right? He told me too that you can complain about it or you can do something about it. And if you complain about it, you ain't never getting nowhere,
the
right?
sa-
And it's
the
crazy, bro.
saddest thing about what you're saying and I know I said this about 10 minutes ago, is you are talking to people in their 40s about this shit. Like, this is something that should at least be understood. At the age of 40 years old, I hope, because I'm
25. Just fuck that, bro.
listen, look, I'm saying this because I'm turning 33 in about 2 weeks, right? And I would hope at the age of 40, 45, wherever the fuck my life is, whether I'm a millionaire or I fucked up the rest of my 30s and had a bunch of baby mamas, I hope I have a sense of perspective and introspection to really look and be able to understand my actions and my decisions. And this is the reason why I've had the consequences, good or bad, that have
No doubt.
resulted from my decisions. But if in the year goddamn 2038, I'm sitting on whatever social media we're using, trying to make excuses
Man,
or whatever the case is,
man.
I've wasted the past 12 to 15 years of my life. Because as I see these old ass women on your status trying to make excuses for their dumbass decisions, I'm just sitting there like, y'all just need to stay on the west side of that goddamn river in South Bend and just go away. Just go away. Like, y'all just need to just stay there because it's sad. You old as
It is,
shit.
bro.
And the thing about it is they got kids.
That's the part where I think, and that's what I was trying to explain to him. Like, y'all understand that none of y'all are raising y'all kids to be a hood dude or a hood chick. But you telling me you mad at me because men don't prefer, and then, oh, men sleep with hood chicks all the time. I said, yeah, you know what? We'll bust a nut in a sock,
In a
bro.
sock. I tell people all the
Anything's better than a
time.
fucking sock.
I tell people all the fucking time towards the late 90s, there was a movie about some fucking teenagers fucking a pie trying to get off. They
That's
literally
how
called it
serious it is.
American Pie.
That
Men will fuck
anything.
anything.
Right. So then the one chick was like, well, it's a lot of side pieces. It's a lot of dudes that cheat and fall in love with these. I said, no, let me explain. Let me give you man law. If you are on your shit as a man, but you want to do some fuck shit, you're not gonna do it in the circle you run in. If listen, I'm not in the hood at all. If I was gonna do some fuck shit, the hood would be the best place for me. Because I
Best
know
place.
me and you are never gonna run each other outside.
God
When I'm
damn
with
it.
when I'm with my woman, we ain't going where you gonna be, and you ain't coming where we gonna be.
Duh.
And bro, motherfuckers got mad at me. I don't care. They love that sneaky link shit. Hood bitches love that. Oh, I'm a sneaky link. Why is that a good thing?
Dumbass. The
To
thing, so if you go to my Facebook right now, if you
I'm
go to
going
my
right the fuck
most
now.
recent net status, you are going to see a sentence where I said from 2009 to 2021, I went on a lot of coochie missions. Now, a coochie mission to me during that 12-year span was me going across town to an area to see women that I would not have to see in corporate, to see women I wouldn't have to see downtown Minneapolis the next day. Why?
Right,
Because you don't eat where you shit. See, that's the hood mentality where I'm gonna break into my next door neighbor's house because
man,
I'm too fucking stupid to go
man.
across town and kick indoors if I want to be a criminal. It's just dumb. Like, you don't eat where you shit. Like, that's just basic rule number one if
That's
you got
it,
an IQ higher than a fucking peanut. But when you dumb as hell and you think because somebody sleeps with you or is willing to see you between the hours of 2 a.m. to 6 a.m., they actually
man.
have an interest in you, you would think that dudes fetishize hood rats.
So right, so they said to me, well, why don't you talk to the men about being better men? And I said, listen, this man has children, 1, 2, 20 that he don't fuck with.
Yep.
There is no more incentive to be right than your own blood. So if his kids don't encourage him or don't motivate him to be a good dude, me like, hey, bro, you shouldn't be fucking with these chicks like that and disrespecting them and leading them on. It's not gonna do a fucking thing. It's not. He has kids he doesn't care about. There's nothing I can say to that man to make him better. So let me explain what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna prepare you and say to you, listen, you know what that shit bag looks like. Don't pick him.
And the thing is, and I say this across all social media platforms, in every community, in every society, in the history of the world, there's always the vagabonds, the undesirables, the pookies, the ray rays, the people that you should fucking avoid, and you avoid them. They're
That's
normally on
it.
the side of the highway, they begging, et cetera, et cetera. But for whatever reason, in our community,
It's fucked
these are
up.
the most popular motherfuckers that got the most kids, they got the most attention, and here we suppose that as people that got some damn sense, want to change what historically has always been in place and make this motherfucker a prince so you can have better selections
bro.
to choose from
Right.
instead of you just stepping aside them like everybody else has done in the history of the goddamn world.
So,
Are
so
y'all fucking stupid?
that's what I'm saying to the chick. I'm like, listen, y'all don't want the good dude, right?
Nope.
So we were having a conversation, and this other chick, the other chick I know, she made a reference about dude being. I'm short. She made a reference about dude being short, right? I had a homie growing up in the hood. My brother's homie, actually, and rest in peace, bro. Some shit happened to him, but he was a short cat. When I say short, dude was 5'3".
Mm.
Weird. He was a little strange looking, and he sounded funny. And he went to school with my brother. He was like, say, about 4 years older than me. He couldn't get no hoe.
Mm.
That just didn't work for him. Bro hit the streets, became the man, and had all the chicks. So I was like, the problem isn't that y'all can't find a good man. You don't want a good man.
Nope.
You want a drug dealer. You want a baller. And that's cool when you're 19, 18, 17, if you don't want to have a baby. Because let's be real, selling drugs ends up one or two ways. You end up in prison or you end up
Yeah.
in jail. There's a small percentage, that can get away and do some shit right. But that's a poor investment. That's like saying my retirement plan is go to casino. Yeah, that shit worked for somebody. It ain't gonna work for you. And the damn sure, and that's what I said. I said, listen, if you get lucky and you pick the drug dealer who never gets caught, who never gets shot, who never gets raided, who never goes to jail, your kids are looking at him. If you have a son, he's going to idolize that man,
Yep.
and he's going to be trying to become that man. If you have a daughter, she's going to want a man like him. So even if you make it and he make it, your kids ain't going to make it. This shit's not worth it, bro. But I'm sitting here and I'm going through this shit, and I'm like, this shit is crazy to me. I'm gonna pull up. Let me look through some of this shit and just see how fucking nuts this is. I started to put it together and share some shit on the screen, but I'm just gonna look at one. And like one of the chicks, she said, "Oh yeah, I fantasize about hood dudes, but definitely don't want to marry one. Well, not too hood. There has to be a healthy balance because I'm pretty hood myself at times. You're also 46 and single. Nobody, very few people are looking to marry hood chicks. Don't get me wrong. You can have a ball with a hood chick. But like my response to her was chicks like that like hood dudes are still trying to get married. Chicks that don't like them are currently enjoying marriage.
Been
Oh,
there.
that touched some souls. You know what I'm saying? That touched some souls. So another one, the chick, she said, you live a very sheltered life if you think an age limit to illegal activities. No, I don't live a sheltered life. I think if you haven't graduated from dumb shit to smart shit by, I don't know, 35 at least, you're a fucking idiot.
You're an idiot.
But
You
if
are
you're an idiot that can get a woman, yeah, shit's different. What was
just
another one?
jeez.
Another chick, and you know this one because she from out there where you used to be. She said it's about 3 out of 10 men that like them ratchet. That's more than enough for the pool that exists. We are a unique bunch to begin with, so she considered herself a hood rat. We may not be your cup of tea, but we damn sure is a good shot of whiskey. Nah, you're not, because and me and her went round and round long before this shit. Me and her used to beef in the group,
Yep.
right? Because she didn't like, in my opinion, she liked the fact I had a white woman, right? And then that crazy ass motherfucker she messed with got a white woman. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Just think about it,
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
right? But but like, who wants to be ratchet? Like that's a goal,
She's so full of shit. I'm about to comment on that goddamn status right now.
man.
You are the
Comment on that shit,
same one. This is the same person that continuously bitches about relationship problems and not being able to find somebody.
man.
Shut the fuck
But
up.
but
You were
but
just
she's not wrong.
oh
She
my
can't find nobody, right?
no.
Because nobody's looking for that. Listen,
So
listen.
why is she on your status saying 3 out of 10 want it? It's more like 0.5, motherfucker,
But
because
them 3 out of 10 that want a hood rat want a 22-year-old hood rat, not a 46.
grandma.
Right. So think about it, right? Again, I was a street cat. I'm not proud of it. I'm glad my life changed and got me out of that shit. But I was around older street cats. But you know what? We were all around the same women because they like them young. Right? Because back in the day, in my day when you was in the streets, women 30 and 40 wasn't fucking with you. Like, dude, what are
Mm-mm.
you doing? You're a drug dealer. I'm not bringing that shit around my house, my home, my family, my kids, my friends. Now, I don't know. Right? The I don't need a man mentality is cool if you don't want to be a wife or a mother. Right? It's cool. You just want to live life and have fun, enjoy it. But if you, and this is what I was telling our mutual friend, I said, if you want to be a wife, you gotta be something that a man wants to pick. A man is not going to marry you just because you have a vagina. Every woman has one,
Jesus
right?
Christ.
So why you like I said? It said you want the alpha. Cool. Why would an alpha want you? I said, I ain't gonna lie. I said black women don't like to compete,
Nope. Nope.
and and
It's trigger word. Like when you
but
said
but we have
competition
to.
earlier, when you said competition earlier in the show, when you said competition, I'm like, that did not go over well
Nah,
because they hate
but you
that
have
word.
to compete. We all do, bro. There's no as weird as it sounds. I compete for my wife every day. What I mean by that is I do shit to keep her interested, and she does shit to keep me interested. Right? We compete. Even when you're single, you have to compete. I said, listen, the alpha that you want walks into a room. There's 22 women. Why you?
Stupid. And the
Like, why
thing
would he
is,
pick you for no fucking reason? You got to
man,
compete.
I say that shit all the time. Once I find that post and it pops up in my memories, I'm gonna share it and tag you because I say that shit all the time. Where I say, whether you like to acknowledge it or not, human beings on planet Earth are in competition. Whether
100%.
you want to participate, there's
100%.
limited resources of everything, of
100%.
shelter, of water, of schooling. There's men, women, there's
100%.
limited
For
resources
everything.
available, and there's a lot of fucking us, and we're only growing.
We compete for
So
houses,
because
jobs, all this other shit.
it doesn't, there's always going, is the competition is going to be there. And when you live in a fucking neighborhood and it's two dudes that you want and it's 65 of y'all, basic economics shows you there's more of a goddamn supply than there is, or I'm sorry, there's more of a demand than there is for a supply. You're gonna
Right.
have to fucking compete. You're gonna have to
I mean,
compete. And
that's
if you,
life, bro.
it is
Even
what
if
it
even if
is.
you walked into a room and it was 20 women and 20 single women, 20 single men, everybody ain't gonna want the person that wants them, right? So somebody's gonna have to compete for the man or the woman they want. So I'm having this fucking discussion, right? And I'm like, okay, so let's just be real. So she said black women want alphas. This is what she said to me. I'm not making shit up. These are her words. I said, okay, cool. But you do understand mathematically you're sharing. And then she says to me, well, black women don't mind sharing a man. We just be bullshitting in public. And on Facebook, I said, shit. I watch a whole lot of fights over some day, right? That's a if you don't mind sharing, tell a motherfucker up front. Because
Right.
there's a lot of dudes that'll be like, oh, okay, I
You
need
with
three
it.
of y'all,
You
right?
with it.
A cleaner, and whatever else you do.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not the scenario, bro. And
This
and
is
I'm struggling because I have been team woman for a long time, and I'm still team woman. I'm just team good woman, right? I didn't realize, and you haven't, like I said, you haven't been here yet. All my homies, man, bro, you're an amazing woman. She take care of you, man. I'm like, that shit is just. I, I take it for granted. I think because
yeah.
that's normal, that's regular.
Man, let me tell you. So I recently started dating this chick. She's from Guyana, which is off the coast by the islands, right next to fucking Brazil and what is that, Venezuela, whatever. She moved to the United States at like 18 years old. So she was
Okay,
born and raised in Guyana. When I tell you dating her has been the most different experience, and I dated a lot. I'm talking 30 women between the ages of 19 and 32, right? This is just a whole, like, when we talk that passport bro shit, I used to chalk it off, but having this woman come in within a goddamn week and is trying to put meals on order and trying to clean out and rearrange refrigerators and
different
shit
deal.
like that, it is just a different experience. If her and I don't work out, I don't know if I'll ever date another American black woman for the rest of my life. I don't know if I'll ever do it because this shit is just so different. And she's just like, I was just raised like this. Like
That's normal, bro.
this is just normal. Like, what are you talking about? This is exceptional. This is about as normal as you waking up brushing your goddamn teeth. And I'm just like, oh, like, you don't understand. And the thing about it is, and I was talking to one of my coworkers today, and she starts to get frustrated because her ex-boyfriend left her and moved to Africa and is now having the fucking time of his life when it comes to the dating department. And she's frustrated because it's like, well, y'all don't have a lot of empathy for what we've been through, et cetera, et cetera. Why during Jim Crow, segregation, lynchings, the Red Summer, KKK Reconstruction period, you had a generation of women that were still able to get along with men and be good women, team good women, and now because y'all saw somebody get shot by the police in 2016, you can't get along with a man and you want to be combative and angry and et cetera, et cetera. Like it
It's
just
crazy,
doesn't.
bro.
It's fucking crazy to me.
You
It's
know, I
fucking.
I did the international thing for business for a very long time. I've spent over 3 years of my life in hotel rooms, right,
Mhm,
traveling internationally for business, and in doing so, you meet people,
mhm,
wives, women, coworkers, whatever. The shit's different.
mhm.
I have taken several of my friends when my guys have never been out of the country. I'd be like, bro, listen, get your passport. This was pre-COVID. Get your passport. Let's drive to. I take all my guys to Toronto. That's my break-in spot. I'm gonna
Yep.
break you into Toronto, right?
Mhm,
Because you're gonna see a difference in the whole the whole concept. I was I don't know, you haven't met my guy Brandon. Brandon's like 6'3", 6'2", something like that. Maybe 6'4". He can get mad at me on his height. Big brother. It was me, him, and one of my other homies, and it was their first time out of the country. We went to Toronto, and I'm like, bro, I'm like, the women here are different. Now the men are different too, which has some impact on that. But I'm like, the women here are different. It's three brothers, right? All of us are muscular, bigger dudes. I'm short, obviously, but these cat, we're big cats. We're walking down. She's like 2 in the morning. I said, watch this, man. I'm gonna show you some shit you ain't never seen. So we're walking down the street, and there's this white lady walking down. Bars just closed, whatever. I stopped her. I said, excuse me, ma'am, can you tell us where's a good place to get breakfast? She starts to point. She said, you know what? I'll just walk with you guys and show you. Right. And they looked at me like, oh shit. I'm like, people are different outside this fucking country we live in.
wow.
Right now, in her defense, they don't have the same problems we have, where she's not at risk of some,
Yeah.
some strange shit happening to her. But they looked at me like, man, what the fuck? I'm like, bro, they all like that here. When I took my wife with me to Toronto the first time, I said, listen, these girls ain't gonna be hitting on me, but it's gonna look like that.
Mm,
Right? I said, they're so friendly. So we went to a
mm.
bar. Me and my wife went to a bar. We sat on a table. These young girls come up. They set their purses down, their drinks, and their phones on our table, and they go dance for like 20 minutes. My wife looking at me. She's like, "Ain't no fucking way." I said, "Yeah, because the world is different here."
Damn.
They take her. They go out on dance floor. We take pictures with them. It's all fun and games. They're so fucking nice, right? And these are women of all nationalities, right? So when you go to Toronto, I say white. She could have been, Ukrainian
Armenian
or
or some
Russian,
shit. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
anything, right?
Mhm.
Of all, and there's African women, there's women from different from from the islands, the Caribbean, but it's a different mentality. They don't have animosity with a man, and they don't want to be a man. And I'm not saying you can't be independent and strong and do your own thing, but there's a difference between being strong and being combative,
Yep.
right? And so I was talking to our homie, and I'm like, black men don't want to save us. And you listen, I asked her, I said, why do you carry a gun? She said, well, I live in the hood and people be sure. I said, no, you carry a gun because ultimately you're your own last line of defense. If nobody else is there to save you, you're gonna save yourself. So stop talking about who won't save you and save your fucking self. And I don't mean that like, against another man. Take yourself out of this fucked up situation you in, right? And take initiative. Go listen, I'm overweight. My wife's overweight. We have fun. We eat. She downstairs baking cakes right now. My guy, I'm not gonna sit in bullshit. When I'm done with this shit, I'm gonna go get fatter. But we go to the gym, we work out, and every there's a certain time of the year we cut out all the bullshit and we go hard in the gym and we eat right.
Mhm.
Build together each other, health, fitness, wellness, whatever. That's just life. But if you take the average American woman and say, "Hey, I need you to lose some weight," no ass finna go through hell.
It's disrespectful for you to
But she
even
will
bring
look
that
at you and
shit
say,
up.
"Hey, I need you to provide more. I need you to be better. I need you to do more." Right? And that's crazy. Right, bro.
It's fucking
As I
in.
said from the beginning, Kevin Samuels was right. I
Yep.
stand corrected. I sent out a whole lot of fucking text messages and Facebook messages. I don't know that I might not have messaged you. I don't know if I did or not. I messaged a whole lot of
You
motherfuckers.
invited me to the goddamn podcast. You
Right,
didn't
right.
want
So I'm hitting my guys. I'm like, man, I was wrong.
This
I
is
was
fuck.
wrong. And it's crazy because one of the chicks was like, "Oh, this dude got a bunch of kids, and you giving him credit." I'm like, he's got kids, cool, right? I don't give a shit. He's not his story ain't wrong because he got baby mamas. Shit, if anybody listen to him, he's going through the shit. It's not justifiable by any means, but I'm saying his information isn't bad. So
It's,
here's what I have seen throughout this whole podcasting journey, me digging into relationships and dating. If I say something the American black woman doesn't like, she attacks the messenger
yep. Not
and
the message.
ignoring the message. And this is not all of them by any means. I want to clarify. I'm talking specifically about the ones on my fucking Facebook that
Yep.
have made these bro. I got a whole lot of messages from a whole lot of women like, man, them hoes crazy. That's what they. This is what a lot of them hoes crazy. They said there's no absolute no reason that they should be trying to justify being a hood rat at 40 years old or older. Like, my back hurts sometimes when I get up, bro, for no fucking reason. How you a hood rat? It don't make, man. I'm confused. I'm sad, but I'm
It's
also like, Kevin was right.
Man, and the
Now
thing
everybody
about
mad
it
at me.
is, it's so fucked up because for the ones of us that have sense, and I'm not even talking about rich people, just people, everyday folks that have sense, we are trying to get as far away from these types of motherfuckers as possible. The only
Absolutely,
time I ever interact with these kind of individuals is on your post. Because in
bro.
my life, in my neighborhood, which is 95% black and upper middle class, we talking $400,000 houses, we don't associate with that nonsense.
Nah,
We
it's
move
stupid,
away from it. Like if we see some bullshit coming down our neck, we call the police. Like
bro.
we like, and the thing is, it's like y'all don't understand how much you're isolating yourself in your own community. I'm talking about black people, where it's like you are really trying to separate yourself when you claim that this is not what you want to be or this is what you want your kids to be, but yet you promote this types of bullshit.
And
And it's like, I don't get it.
it's not. You know, I don't. I know I feel like I'm blaming all women, all the women. It's not. Like I sent one of my homies a post today. A cat I grew up with. He a little older than me. Super hood. He posted some shit on Facebook. Some old gangster type shit. You 50, bro. But you know what? He got a lot of bitches. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, y'all know who this dude is.
Oh my
You
god.
know this dude is 50 and he's 50. I'm 47 and he's 4 years older than me. So I'm just gonna say 50. Right? He's 51 probably because he's the same age as my brother. But he's bro sells drugs. That's what he does. He ain't never had a job. But he keep some women
At half a hundred.
at
He
half a
he's
hundred,
jeez.
right? With a bankroll in his pocket,
My God.
right? Like his investment is who got work for the low. You know what I'm saying? Who got that shit he can buy for the cheap,
So if
right?
you ask these hood rats, you're supposed to go to this dude that's half a hundred, that ain't never had a job with a W-2, and you supposed to turn him into yourself instead of telling these bimbos to stay the fuck away from him.
He got a gang of kids, bro. He got a gang of kids, right? You know what I'm saying? Like he's done time, but they love him.
Love
We
him.
we we uphold the wrong shit, and this so in my conversations because I had a lot of inboxes and a lot of snap messages and shit like that from people about this shit. I'm like, y'all are ignoring for the first time, bro. Because I used to be hard on dudes. I was super fucking hard on dudes. I'm like, y'all are ignoring decent black men who want to build with a black woman. For a man who just wants nothing more than to drop a load off in you like a laundromat and dip.
Phew.
You know what I'm saying? So I had the chick tell me I don't like this dude because this, and this. I want a dude who has this, and this. I'm like, he has all of that. The dude you just said you don't like has all of that, but he's not an alpha. Meaning he's not gonna beat you up. He ain't gonna cheat on you a bunch of times. He ain't gonna do all this other shit that. And I'm not saying you gotta beat a motherfucker up because you're alpha, but this you want a man who has access to a bunch of other women who are trying to give him the same shit you want to give him, and you're nowhere near the quality of woman they are. And you are passing up a decent dude. She's like, well, I don't want to. I shouldn't be forced to be with somebody I'm not attracted to. Absolutely not. You should not be. I said you should not be. But if you're not attracted to this dude and you're not attracted to men like him, deal with the choices you make. That's
Stupid.
all. Listen, if I go out my house, get in my car, and I keep going left, I can't be mad because I never left my neighborhood. That's the route I took. I kept turning fucking left. I'm going around the same block over and over and over. I'm not mad at the you don't get mad at the choices you have. You gotta get mad at the choices you make.
I don't see how black folks can sit there and have an understanding that if you get in a goddamn submarine and go down into the Atlantic Ocean and you never come back up because you die, and we have an understanding that this is the consequences of the choices that you make. We understand that to the point where we clown this shit for weeks. But
Man,
when we sit here and say you didn't fuck with a 50-year-old drug dealer, and as a result, he dropped the load off in you like a laundromat and skirted off. These are the consequences of your actions.
your fucking
You only
choices.
saying that because you got a white wife. I'm only
Right,
saying that because I never sold drugs or had a mama that was a crackhead or whatever the
right.
fuck the reason is. So it's just it's it's insane. It's ego. It's almost narcissistic. Where
It's
in a way
entitlement.
we know entitlement. You know what the fuck it is. You
It's
know that
entitlement.
these are the consequences of
Yep.
your
But you
actions
feel
because
like you
you can.
deserve something different
But you
anyway.
deserve something different because you. Shut the fuck up.
Man,
I
we
don't.
all are us. We are all you. We are all me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not a fucking excuse. And I'm struggling, bro, because I have, bro, I have been a motherfucking fighter. I'm on TikTok. I'm looking at my old TikToks. I'm talking shit about these weak ass men and how they not what they used to be. And I don't think a man today deserves even an average woman. Now I'm like, shit. I was wrong. I feel like Trump, wrong. You know what I'm saying? Wrong. I take listen. You know what I'm doing? I'm
Oh
taking
my.
accountability. That's some shit that they, they don't feel good for them. I'm taking accountability for my mistakes. I was wrong about a lot of shit Kevin Samuels said. I'm still not a Kevin Samuels fan. Right, meaning I don't follow. I haven't spent hours watching his shit, but there's some things I saw and some things I've seen, and I'm like, yeah, he was right. I was looking. So here's what I'm guilty of. I'm guilty of saying to myself, this is how my woman is. This is how women were
Mm.
when I was, when I was younger. This is how women are today.
Yep.
Now, I'm wrong because, and I'm gonna keep going back to that, my Booty Hole Brown song, that shit drives me crazy, bro. Like, I'm like,
It,
this is crazy.
you
Don't
know,
get me
and
wrong. Enjoy music if you like music. But our community has always struggled with the separation of entertainment from reality.
bingo.
I know some white girls that listen to that shit and they go home to their husbands and they do the husband and wife shit like they supposed to. And I know some
Man.
sisters that listen to it and they go home to their husbands and they do the wife and husband shit like they supposed to. But I also know some sisters that listen to that shit and be like, throw their hand up, hey, all that bullshit. Right? Like, this is, we have to be aware of how we carry ourselves. Again, if you don't care to have a husband or to be a mother, nobody, you can run the streets,
Do
right?
whatever you want.
But when you are looking to be a family, you have to understand that the way the world works right now, 99.9% of all marriages happen with the man saying, will you marry me? That's a question that for us is difficult as fuck,
Yep.
right? I'm not sure if you ever asked anybody, right? Like, I don't, you're 33. I don't know. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. That's a difficult question.
Mm-hmm.
But when you ask as a man, when we ask that question, that's because we see value in the long term, right? There's no way in the fucking world I would get down on one knee while my girl twerking and, and
And
ask her
saying
to
that her
marry me.
coochie pink and her booty hole is brown. Like,
Right.
why the fuck would I do that to some? Like, the thing about it is, like you said, that is probably the toughest question that we will ask in our entire lifetime
Absolutely.
because you're making an oath to making a commitment and drop all these hoes, and we're talking about monogamous marriages here, and drop all of these hoes for the rest of my life for your ass. So why the fuck would I do that to someone that is going to embarrass me, that is going to indulge? I gotta
Man.
trust that you
Don't
are
even
gonna bring.
Kiki Palmer this shit. But go ahead, my bad. Continue.
Yeah, and I get it, man, because it's just so frustrating because this isn't complex concepts, but you have people that now are middle aged, right? Middle aged. Like, watching your statuses is saddening to me because these are old. Like, you should be the elders, like giving wise counsel. You know what I mean? Like, you should
Man.
be sitting there talking to your kids and maybe your grandkids about, the mistakes that you made, but yet you have to have another 47-year-old man. You should, like, seeing you talk to the people on your post. I'm like, she gotta be 19. She has to be 17. Like,
Bro, I
there's
don't
no
got no
fucking way
teens. I
that
don't
you
got no
went to high.
teens, no 20s. I don't
Jesus.
communicate with them. They're my kids' ages, right? But it's so crazy, right? Because like you're right. I mean, I'm having these conversations, and it's crazy to me that somebody literally can justify a 40-year-old man selling drugs. Like I told the one chick on the post, I said, "You're 40, trying to get 40. Like you're 40 years old trying to get 40 years. Bro, at this age, if they gave me 10 years, that's fucking life.
Life.
Shit. That's life, bro. I'm not throwing this shit away. It just don't make sense to me. And
Stupid
and
as shit.
and I'm struggling because I know inside they don't believe that bullshit either. I know they don't believe that bullshit, but that bullshit is their normal life, and they try to justify it. When I was younger, it was this chick, and she said, I don't like kissing. I'm like, you sure you don't? I'm like, have you ever been kissed? She's like, nah, none of the dudes I mess with ever kiss me. Okay, you probably like kissing, but that's your self defense mechanism, right? Because I've not met a woman that doesn't like. I'm sure they exist, right? But I haven't met a woman who doesn't like to be kissed and touched and it's have some affection thrown her way. But when you don't get it, you throw up this barrier, right? This fake brick wall because like, oh, I don't like that shit. And I think that's where we're at with a lot of the older women today who are like, oh,
Mm.
I don't want a man because blah blah blah. You really do because you answering that phone at 2 3 in the morning with this man coming over. Yes, you are entitled to have sex freely as you want to, but I also understand a lot of y'all want a little bit more than sex. Y'all
Yep.
want a man to love you and hug you and lay down with you, and that's cool, but you got to be right. And I was explaining to this chick earlier. I'm like, men, good men, are aware of what's going on in their environment. They look at a woman like an investment.
Mm-hmm.
If you allow a bunch of nobodies access to you, you're not a good investment for somebody who's looking for a long term woman, a wife, a mother for their children. And just because you get married don't mean it's gonna work. Right? I've been married a long time. Doesn't mean I might go downstairs with my wife like, you know what, I had a great run. Peace out, homie. Right? I gotta deal with that if that happens. I don't
Mm-hmm.
anticipate it, but that's reality. I could wake up one day like this was a good run, but I need to do something different. Again, I don't anticipate it, but that's life. We don't get to choose when relationships end outside of for us as our individual selves. But not getting married to somebody, and I'm going into a different post I had a week or so ago because I'm like, don't let a man who doesn't want to make you a wife make you a mother. I'm not saying you got to be married, but if he doesn't value you as a wife, don't allow that man to make you a mother. And it was like, oh, that's stupid. Just because you having a baby don't mean you got to marry somebody. I'm like, again, I went to the same shit. I said, well, is there anybody out here encouraging their daughters to have a bunch of babies by men who don't want shit to do with them? Is there
Nope.
any man or woman out here encouraging their son to go knock a bunch of girls up and have no intentions on being in the kid's life? No, no. Then
Nope.
stop pretending that shit,
Man, shut the fuck up. What are you talking about? You're
man.
just arguing for the sake of arguing because you really don't believe that shit.
It
But
hurt their
that's what you
soul,
did. But
right?
that's what you did 15, 12, 13, 18 years ago. And now you're trying to save face because you feel fucking stupid because that's what you are. And now you saying that shit. But you know that's not what you preaching to your damn kids.
Not at all.
So just admit it. I was a fucking idiot. I made some mistakes. And now I'm trying to learn
So,
from them.
you said something key there, right? So I'm talking to my homie earlier, and I'm like, look, bro, as a man, I've made some mistakes in my life. I've said to my kids, hey, these are some mistakes I made in my life. Don't do what we did, right? I, and I don't mean that as a bad thing, right? I love my children, so I told my sister,
Mhm.
listen, we had kids early before we were prepared,
Yep.
right? I'm saying work harder at establishing yourself
Hmm.
before you make that move. At least know your path. You don't have to be successful on your path, but at least understand the path you're trying to go down, right? I did some things. I was in the streets. I don't. You don't have to do that. I provided you a life, so you don't have to make those mistakes, right? I encourage my kids to be better, but I talk to them about the things I've done.
Yep. Sound like my parents.
But if if it's like some women today, the older single women today don't want to admit to their faults. They're telling their daughters, "Oh, don't fuck with these men. You don't need these men. They ain't shit. They ain't gonna take care." Like, just say, "I picked the wrong ones," and then guide them on the mistakes you made. Listen, if this man doesn't want to value you long term, don't give him access to your body,
It's
or
like,
ensure you've got
oh
contraception,
man,
or birth control or something. If you're gonna go out here and be wild, don't allow men who don't want to be fathers to make you a mother.
it's like they're giving half truths, right? Because yes, you should not be fucking with these people, but you're not explaining why because you're embarrassed for the decisions that you made.
Right,
This is the not only you should not fuck with this dude, you should not fuck with this dude or girl because
right,
of what I did. My dad gave me the straight truth, no chaser. Like, listen, this is where I fucked up in the year 1970, blah blah blah. I did this. My paychecks was $12 because they was taking money out of it. Do not make these mistakes. He wasn't trying to just say, "Ah, you don't want to fuck with him because
He
that's just
gave you the
not what you want."
story.
He gave me a story. He gave me a blueprint of what not to fucking do. And guess
Absolutely.
what? I didn't do it.
I mean, and that's the thing, right? We understand. We understand we're smart. Humans are smart people. We can understand some shit. But like today, and I'm gonna end on this note. Accountability is something today's women struggle with. It,
Accountability
it
is
is it
kryptonite.
is it's a fucking four-letter word. Like it's the moment you try to hold specific women accountable, they lose
Mhm.
their shit.
Crazy.
Oh, you're bashing us, you're demeaning us, you're doing this. Bro, I'm looking at this shit. I'm like, I've said way worse shit about black men, right? Because we be fucking up.
Yep.
I don't sugarcoat shit. I didn't even hold nobody accountable, bro. I shared a post from another chick and they lost their fucking mind. Not one person got on there and said, well, I disagree because of this. It all went personal.
Yep.
And I'm just like, the accountability is something that we are lacking. Accountability is something that is necessary for growth. If you can't say to yourself, I messed up, you can't fix it. If you can't admit your faults, you're going to
Mhm.
raise children who never are at fault.
It's nuts.
And that shit will lead to, for young boys, that is going to lead to prison for young black boys. Because if somebody's not holding them accountable, somebody's going to hold them accountable later
In the court of law, god
in the
damn it.
court of
And
law.
then,
I remember,
and,
bro, and like I'm the youngest of four boys.
mhm.
My oldest brother is 10 years older than me. I remember him doing some stupid shit. I don't remember what it was. The police brought him home. Because back in them days, that's what happened. The police brought him
Yep.
home. They knocked on my mom's door. I see the police. I run to the door because I'm like, ooh, he in trouble, right? That the officer said to my mother, whoop his ass so we don't have to later. And that was the realest shit I ever heard, bro.
Damn.
I said, oh shit. That shit stuck with me for years and years and years and until this day. That officer said, whoop his ass so
Mm.
we don't have to later. And that was the realest shit.